Welcome everybody, hope you guys are having an awesome day and welcome to today's flight. Today we're going to do a full flight in the beautiful INIbuilds A340-300, doing a full from Tokyo Narita. We're currently located right now all the way over to Toronto Pearson in Canada. Flight time will be roughly 12 hours and heck of the catering track, so let's go cockpit and let's get the flight going. Welcome cockpit. As you can see, we're completely cold and dark. Let's go to the captain's seat and let's get the aircraft powered up. So, battery 1 and 2. Select on, APU battery select on, give it a couple of seconds. Battery voltage of 27.3 volt, that's correct, and external power 1 and 2 connected. Adhere 1, 2 and 3, selected to the navigation position. Oxygen to the crew, select on. Fire test, we'll do that in a second. For hydraulic pumps are all selected off, fuel pumps are selected off, and generator selected at fault, which is on mode. Packs the same, bleeds, APU bleeds, select on, rest can stay as is. Lights are already set, simple sign and smoking sign select on. Emergency light selected to the arm position. Go to the pedestal. Alright, squawk selected to 2000 and transponder mode to automatic mode. Let's go over to our EFB. Import weights from SimBrief. And there we have Narita to Toronto. Flight time. Roughly 12 hours. Let's go to the fueling and payload. Import from SimBrief. And instant load. Let's go to the MCD menu, the ATSU page, and let's get the flight plan sent over to our aircraft. So flight init, request. Let's see, back to AOC, and we have not received any messages yet. So let's go to the flight init page and request flight plan to be transferred over. Alright, flight plan transferred over. We're going to fly as Air Canada 10. IRS initialization can be aligned. And we can now go to the next page, which is the load page. So let us now see. Let's see, fueling, payload. I'm going to set this one over to answer page so we can see when they get our load sheet sent over. Yeah, there we go. Let's now see. So zero fuel weight of 145.6. Let's see, zero fuel weight, center of gravity. Let's see, 24.4, so 24.4. 24.4 and insert. Takeoff fuel will be 102.6, sorry, 0.7 actually. For the fuel, we can go back to our EFB and let's get the OFP page. And I can take the planned fuel. Let's see, potential fuel of 4.2. Let's go in there. Alternate fuel of 2.8. And final time 2.3. And we're going to be landing with 15 tons extra fuel, so that is great. Trip wind, let's see, 262, and we are now flying that, so we're going to get the tailwind. Tailwind of 026. And great on that page. Alright, go to the flight plan page and let's see which departure are we going to use. Let's see, 34 left, Gilbo 2 departure. So departure 34 left, Gilbo 2 departure, insert. Alright, roger that. Let's go to the flight performance, sorry, takeoff performance page. Let's see, takeoff performance synchronize with weather and FMGS. Yes. Calculate that and let's request boarding quickly. Alright, 51, 59, 67, so 151, 159, 167. And we will set flaps to 2, just so we don't hit our tail on the ground. Quick send to FMS and confirm takeoff data. Let's see, flaps 2 up 2.6.1, flex temperature to 42 degrees Celsius, rest looking great. We can now turn on the fuel pump since aircraft is fuel to fuel, and let's do the fire test. Fire test complete, let's do the APU. APU test is complete. Let's turn on the APU master. And let's see, flight directors, balls can come on, initial climb, selected to flight level 340 I believe it was, no, 31 actually. 31. Boarding is almost complete, let's get the aircraft ready for our pushback. So fuel pumps are on, we are now on APU power, so let's disconnect the ground powers. Let's go back to our FMGS and let's double check that our weights are correct, because we are now gotten the final load sheet and the boarding complete. So zero fuel weight 145.6, that's correct. Actually it is not, we are going to be 145.5 since 448, you count that down. Let's double check the next page. We hit the wrong. There we go. So zero fuel weight, center of gravity. Let's see, zero fuel center of gravity at 26.6, so 26.6. And fuel in tanks going to be 103, 103.3. We have a tailwind of 0 to 6. See if we want to fix that now, and it will. Alright, let's accept that. Let's take you back to flight plan page. And back to the departure page for you, and let's go for our pushback truck. Alright, locking gear. Let's go to the EFP and let's disconnect some ground equipment. Disconnect the GPU, remove the chocks. Take you to the takeoff page. And we are now on APU power, APU bleed. We are fully on our own. Flaps are selected. And facing south. Parking brake select off, engine mode to start. Alright, engine 1 and 3 can be started up. And we have N2 rotation on number 3. And we have N2 rotation on number 1. Both engines are now running. So let's start engine number 2 and 4. And why have you come up? We can just clear it up because we confirmed it ourselves. Alright, N2 on number 2 and number 4.
Inside your seat. If instructed to use it, slip it over your head, fasten the straps, and pull them tight. Inflate by pulling the red tabs or blowing into the mouthpiece. Only inflate your mouth.
All 4 engines are now available, so let's take engine mode back to the normal mode. Select the flaps to 2 position, arm the speed brake. Let's say auto brake max is armed. Let's just now see the ground spoilers are armed. We are now. Parking brake can be selected. And let's turn on frequency so we can listen to frequency 1 and 2. At the same time, let's transmit the frequency number 1. Select Unicom for departure. And we are good on that page. Let's turn on the predictive weathering system to automatic, so we have it ready for departure. Beacon lights, forgot that, but they are on now. So APU bleed off, APU can be selected to the off position. And let's go to the flight control page, if we can hit the right button. FLCTL. So, full left, full right, full left and then full right. Neutral, full up, full down, rudder left, rudder right. Plug check, good and free. I forgot to start U. And we have ground equipment has been removed and bypass pin has been removed, so no slide to taxi. There he is waving. And he's moving away, so let's take the parking brake, select off, thrust, slightly increased. Alright, aircraft is now rolling. Lining up on the runway, so let's take the runway 34 left, so let's turn on the nose light to take off, take on landing light, select on strobe lights. Also needed on, wing lights, everything else selected on and on. Flaps selected to 2, speed brakes are armed.
Approaching 3-4 left.
Alright, correct runway has been confirmed. Increasing thrust slightly. So, light, seatbelt signs, everything else set and set. Fuel pumps. No warnings, nothing. Aircraft looking great. Let's get the terrain radar on U. Weather radar on the captain side. Transponder selected to TRRA.
On runway 3-4 left.
Right, thrust to 50%. And chrono. Flex temp set. Flex thrust has been selected and thrust has been reached. Aircraft is moving. $80 knots.
Caution! On taxiway! On taxiway!
That is a no, we are on runway. It's been weird as I'm just confused.
V1.
Check. Rotate. Ground. Alright, positive rate of climb, gear up, nose 15 degrees, keeping that for a short while. 500 feet, nose to 10 degrees. Speed brake has been disarmed. Alright, gear up, 3 green. Of 1,000 feet. Let's see, 1,500 feet. Should we get in autopilot? Autopilot select on, thrust selected to the climb page, flaps 1. Turn off the chrono because we were 2 minutes-ish on takeoff power, that's the limits. Flap selected up. Blank on E. 15,500 feet. Aircraft is looking stable. We are descending at a fast pace because we are a little bit too high according to what we should be at, but we are within limits as of now. We might have to do some circling manually afterwards, but that's okay. So let's get the aircraft with this so we can get seatbelt sign and smoking sign, seatbelt sign and landing lights selected on. Let's turn on the wing light as well. Let's go to the the landing performance chart, synchronized with sim brief and weather. Compute that. We're going to be landing with auto land because the visibility is 0.5 centimeters at Toronto, so we have to do that. So auto land, and we're landing on runway 05. Winds from a little bit of a tailwind. So 29.66, 7 degrees Celsius, winds 170 at 06. And let me just quickly get the minimums for our arrival into Toronto. So approach 05. Let's see, we're going in the category 3, so 108. Going to be, it's not correct. Let's see, ILS, yes, 108 on the radio altimeter. Great on that page. Alright, flaps 1, speed in manual mode. Quickly get the speeds. Alright, we have to maintain 210 knots for now. We're now descending to 3000 knots, which we're going to get there. But for now, I'm going to continue straight out. If we are not at 5000 feet until the done-up waypoint, we continue on outwards and turn us up in, then manually in, because we are too high. Auto brake medium is armed. 5000 feet. Let's start with pulling you out to open the descent. (5,000 feet has now been reached. Aircraft is now in heading mode, so let's start with turning ourselves in for our arrival. Let's arm the landing system on both sides. Right, 150 is select. Changing you to 140. Check that. Rex can come back down. And let me just quickly get the frequency for Toronto. Alright, frequency for Toronto is 118,700. Select Unicom on the first officer side so we can listen to that at the same time. And we have to turn you back on. And approach mode can be armed. And I overshot, so let's start with turning. Alright, selecting you to 320 degrees. And we are roughly 15-ish miles out, it looks like. Alright, heading 0 to 0 should be fine for us. We are now at speed 210 knots, so let's just get let us now see. We have no speed restrictions here, so let's keep 210 knots until... Alright, look, let's capture keeping 210 knots until we are roughly 10 miles out, then 200 knots, and then we follow the standard procedure. And we are now flying into the clouds. And we are not expected to be able to see the runway before, more or less, right before we touch down on it. Sight meter is 0.75, so we have 0.75 nautical miles of visibility, if I'm not mistaken. And we are now, let's see, 3,000 feet until in the middle. Alright, so we should be able to capture the ILS frequency, sorry, the glide slope in the middle right here. And glide slope is alive. Let's reduce speed to 180 knots. Right, glide slope has been captured. Gear down. Arm the second. Alright, so gear down, tree green. Autopilot, sorry, category 3 autoland is armed. Right here now below 200 knots. Flaps 2. Reduce speed to 160 knots. Let's get the nose light on, turn off light on, strobe light on. Rest of the lights are now on, and on. Alright, looks like we have the runway in sight. Let's keep going. Flaps 3. Alright, runway in sight. Keep Waterland. And flaps 4. Speed to final speed of 126 knots.
Approaching 05.
Alright, correct runway has been confirmed. Check. Alright, airport is starting to light up. Check. Alright, land is active. And visibility was a lot better than I was actually expecting, so.
Minimum.
Continue.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard, retard.
Alright, on the ground, inversion has been employed, speed brakes are out, auto brakes is active. Yes, that is not important right now, so auto brake disarmed, chest reversers can be installed, flaps, select up, speed brakes can come down, APU master selected to the on position. And we'll just quickly zoom in right here, and let's turn off at the next intersection. And APU can be started, nose light to taxi, turn flight can come off, strobe light to automatic mode, wing light select off, logo light select to the on position. APU is now starting, so let's yes. Landing lights is selected off. Stand 171. Let's quickly turn off the nose lights so we don't blind the poor ground crew. Right, let's keep the aircraft going. Almost there. Right, welcome to the gate. So parking brake has been set, engine number all off, and quickly take the APU bleed on. So let's go to the overhead panel and let's turn off fuel pumps. Fuel pump has been selected off, our bleeds can stay as is, beacon light can come off, seatbelt sign can come off. Let's just quickly get the jetway and deboarding. Transponder can be selected to the off position, and aircraft looking stable as else, so let's take the landing systems off on both sides. And let's see, ground powers can both be connected, APU bleeds online, less looking great. Welcome to Toronto buddy, I hope you enjoyed this flight. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, check out my channel page for more awesome videos, check out my demo of the benchmark from videos. Other than that, I will see you in the next video. Fly away, air out, have an awesome day, and goodbye.